Hello, this is Patrick at One CNC West, and what we're going to do in this video is continue to take a look at the One CNC XR7 CAD features. Now, first of all, everything that I'm going to demonstrate to you is going to be available for all different versions of One CNC. Express, Advantage, Professional, Expert. It doesn't matter what discipline you have, whether it's milling, turning, wire EDM, profiler, or even solid design. What we demonstrate in these videos will be available in all those different systems. So first of all, let's take a look at just some real simple user interface changes that I think you should take note of. In the lower right hand corner, that's now your cursor tracking. So as I move the cursor, you can see it's being tracked down here. Also, there's the current layer. One CNC has now taken all your buttons here and put them all in the same location in the lower left hand corner, which I think is very nice. There's also a new button up here, a pan button that's available now. You've always been able to pan in One CNC, but now there's a pan button up here that you can quickly access. So now let's take a look at themes. Now, themes are the ability to control the way the background looks, the way these side and top toolbars look, the look of your icons, and so on. Themes were introduced in One CNC XR6, and they continue to be strong in XR7. So within XR7, this is the basic theme here. And if we come down here, I can show you, here's a new theme. This is called the One CNC theme. This looks a little bit like XR6, but there's some subtle differences. The icons are different. This top toolbar is a little bit different color, and of course these highlight bars are different colored as well. But again, you can see your tracking taking place in the lower right hand corner, and all these buttons located in the same location. Another theme available within XR7 is the blue theme. And again, kind of similar to XR6, a little bit different, some subtle changes on here. And don't forget, you still have these nice little buttons on the side here where if you want to work in full screen, you can definitely do that in all of these themes. And then the last theme that XR7 provides is the dark theme. So if you're working in a dimly lit environment, the dark theme might be the way to go for you. Okay, so those are very nice. Those are the new themes within XR7. Now let's take a look over here within the File drop-down menu. There's a new option here called Document Settings. All right, so document settings have to do with setting up the parameters for this particular part file. So anything I set up here, whether it's text, dimension, or colors, any of these settings I set up here are going to be saved with the part file. So once I set these settings up, if I were to load the part file 2 hours from now, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, these settings are going to be loaded up as well, so I don't have to go back into One CNC and continually have to reset these, or as far as that goes, remember what these are. So think of these settings as settings that are going to stay with the part file. And so of course you have text. These are your standard text settings. Let's go to dimension. And let's show you some different things here. In dimension in XR7 under style, you can now choose between these different styles. Also notice in XR7 there's a new arrow style, which is open, so that's added. Now you can use open if you want. I'm going to go with filled. Also notice that within XR7, the actual size of the arrowhead is now determined by an actual dimension. In previous versions of One CNC, this was a percentage of the text height, and sometimes it took a little bit of doing to put in the right numbers to get exactly what you wanted. I'm going to change this. I'm going to make that 160 thousandths and make that 70 thousandths. There's also a new leader text option here for inline and above, and of course you have control over your decimal places and font styles and things like that. If we hit colors, the active start color, this is the color of your wireframe geometry. I'm going to change this to a darker blue, and for the model color, maybe go a darker gray, and then here's your dimension colors. All right, so as soon as I click OK, these attributes are now applied to this part file. So if I load this part file later on, all those attributes are going to be loaded as well. Another thing to point out is that if we go to File, there's your document settings, there's also One CNC Properties. One CNC Properties sets up the default for One CNC. This has nothing to do with the part file. This just has to do with every time you launch One CNC, these are the defaults you want to use. And of course you have access to text, dimension, colors, and then also these other options as well. Okay, so brand new to XR7 is this new option called Document Setting, which gets saved with the part file, and One CNC Properties, which is nothing to do with the part file. It has to do with how One CNC looks when you first launch it. All right, so I'm going to just quickly create some geometry here. In fact, I'm just going to grid point snap because I'd like to talk about dimensions now and how they have changed. I'm going to say that looks good. Let's put a fillet. How about a 2-inch fillet there? And how about a 3/8 fillet on the inside here? I'm going to say that looks fine, and then let's build a circle. I'm just going to grid point snap that right there. Okay, so let's talk now about dimensions. So we'll come over here and we'll hit dimensions. First of all, you'll see that the edit dimension command is now easily accessible. In previous versions of OneCNC, the edit dimension command was actually in a submenu. So you had to go to a different menu to get to edit dimension. Now this is very easily accessible right on the main toolbar as edit dimension. So that's very nice. Let's go to horizontal dimension. I'm going to left click, and right off the bat you can see the arrow size and the actual size of the dimension text is something usable right off the bat. In previous versions of OneCNC, you might not expect to see the size or the arrows that you had, and you had to go back and change all that. So that's nice. Now once I left-hand mouse click, you're going to see there's a brand new dialog box that comes up. So let's talk about what's happening here. You have this option called dimension format. See where it says val? That's just simply a variable, and that variable is what's outputting this number right here. Okay, now you also have some new symbol icons down here, and in later versions of OneCNC there can be more symbols that we can access, but right now these are the three most commonly used. There's diameter, radius, and degrees. So if I click on diameter, OneCNC pushes that symbol right before this variable. So if I click OK, you'll see now that the diameter symbol has been added inside the text there. I'm going to undo that with a Control Z. Let's go back in there and back into horizontal. And this time, why don't we add radius? And so we'll click OK to that. Very easy to do. Now what's also nice is you can add text as well. So let's create another horizontal dimension. And here, what we'll do is I'm going to hit the space bar, and I'm just going to type in the word text, but you can type in whatever you'd like. I'll just say text, I'll click OK, and now you can see OneCNC has placed that text right in line with the dimension. So that is going to extend the capability of your dimensions. Now, if we click on any other type of dimension, you're going to have the same type of option. For example, there is a vertical dimension, and if you want to just go with that, you can just click OK, and away you go. Let's do that again. Vertical dimension, we'll go here and here, and if you're happy with that, all you have to do is click OK and move on. So that type of extra capability is going to be available in every type of dimension that you create. So there's a diametrical dimension, and here's the options. Here you'll notice that you have access to your tolerance. In previous version of OneCNC, these types of attributes were set up over here, and it was more of a global thing. You know, you'd set it up and it would be applied to everything, and that's fine. Well, you can still do that, but now with XR7 you can come in and change this on the fly for each and every individual dimension that you create. So here's your tolerances. You can select between these different options and put in the values if you'd like. If you click more, it's going to expand this out, and then it's going to give you access to some of these things we set up earlier. So if you want to change the arrow style on the fly, you can. You can change the dimension style, the leader text, your decimal places and font styles and things like that. You can do this all on the fly if you want to, or just leave it as it is and click OK to that. Okay, so that's new to OneCNC XR7, the ability to expand the capability of your text to be able to change the attributes on the fly for each piece of text or dimension that you create. You'll also have the ability, when you print, you'll also have the ability to get more of what you see as what you get. The way the geometry looks when you print out a file or print out a drawing from OneCNC has also been enhanced in OneCNC XR7 as well. Okay, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.